Come on in, bestie. Welcome to StoryPod, where we do the doing of story development together. Brought to you by Creative BFF. Hello. Listen. Sorry if that was annoying, grasping in your face. If you're just listening to this, thank your lucky stars, I guess. Thank you for joining me on the StoryPod podcast. My name is Ashley. Okay, Ashley. If you have a question, listen, I'm on one right now, I think. If you have a question that you would like me to answer here on the podcast, or if you need help with your story in any way, please feel free to reach out to me. My email address is ash@creativebff.com, or you can go to my website, creativebff.com, and you can drop me a line in the contact section. And please put in the subject that you have a story question or story help, because girl, we're getting all of that spam, all of these spam emails every day, thousands of spam emails. So help me out, help me, help you, help me. Anyway, what we're doing today is a little bit of a petty peeve. Now, full disclosure, I come before you without specific examples of this, but I just know that I have seen it enough throughout my life for it to be something that I hate, that frustrates me. And I'm going to tell you why. Now, the petty peeve in question is when a character that is meant to help the protagonist withholds crucial information for no good reason. Now, being that I know that you've seen this somewhere, please put down below examples that you've seen that have irritated you, because for the life of me, I could not remember which stories specifically I have seen where that features in. But if you can, please let me know so that we can commiserate together. But I hate this because it feels cheap. It feels like a cheap source of conflict in the story, in a similar vein to when you can just have, where the characters could just have a brief discussion to work out a misunderstanding, but here we are as readers having to bear with these two stubborn idiots. Sorry. These two characters who, if you just sat down like rational people and talked about this particular small misunderstanding, we wouldn't be having to be gritting our teeth for half the book while you guys snipe at each other for no good reason. So it's kind of a similar vibe to me, where it's like, okay, you're just withholding information that if you had told us that at the beginning of this journey, we would have made very different decisions. Things would have moved along a lot more smoothly. Do you care about us saving the world or not? Are you trying to develop some sort of character thing in me? Hey, now I'm putting myself in this position. And that is worth risking millions of people's lives, if that's like the story conflict of like, we're trying to save the world. But this character who is meant to be like a mentor and who is firmly on the side of the protagonist is not sharing pertinent information that could really help us along. And to me, it just seems like it's a tactic, a tool of the writer to drag out the story or to create conflict that doesn't need to be there. Now, what I'm not saying is that there's never any reason why a mentor character would withhold information. But if you want that to be an element of it, there needs to be a good reason. And I feel like if the stakes are high, I don't feel like they're too young to know is a reasonable explanation, at all. Or whatever kind of small dumb reason. What other small dumb reasons can you think of that you've seen that a main not a main character, but a mentor character, a good character, a character on the side of the protagonist has withheld information that could have really helped us? We could have really used that information like a smooth 300 pages ago, bro. So, excuse me if you heard my computer giving me a notification. Rude. Close that. Thank you. That was extremely rude, computer. I don't appreciate it. But anyway, so those are my thoughts. It feels cheap. Okay. It feels lazy. Ooh, that's a good word. Maybe not cheap. It feels lazy. Like lazy writing if you don't give me a good reason for this character to not tell me the whole story before I embark on this journey. Okay, I'm getting ready to cross the desert, bro, to try to find the artifact of power, okay, in order to save not only my people, but the whole world. The fate of the world is resting in my hands. And I am, I am inexperienced, okay? And you have information that would make it easier for me to achieve this goal of saving the world, and yet you don't share it with me because you feel like, you're not ready yet. You're not ready for that information. How do you know I'm not ready? And if I'm not ready for that information, then I won't have the skill to process or utilize the information, but at least let me know what we're working towards, girl. Okay? Stop playing with me. So anyway, oh, girl, that's a brief one. This is a brief petty peeve because I feel like I've said no, you know what? No, I'm not letting it go. So instead of that being the conflict of you not wanting to share information for some esoteric, for some eccentric reason, don't do that. Okay. Make it a good reason. Make it that, okay, if I legitimately have this knowledge, it could kill me because my little brain has not grown to the necessary level for it. Or if I had this knowledge, it would genuinely, legitimately jeopardize the whole situation. And there is a specific date and time for you to share this information with me once we get to a certain point, and there's a really, really good reason for it. What could be some good reasons? You give me some answers down below. What would be a reason that we would allow for that to be an element of conflict? Otherwise, tell me the whole story. Okay. Give me the whole story before we start this journey. And as a writer, let's find other conflicts that can arise. And maybe, in like a little flip-de-doodle, okay, a little topsy-turvy, maybe the mentor character does share all of the information and it genuinely is too early, and that is the conflict. That's part of a conflict. It's like, okay, I didn't withhold any information from you. I told you everything that I knew about this situation, and that caused a problem. That might be interesting. Or is that equally irritating? I think it's not equally irritating because I don't see it done as much in a story. So I feel like, listen, tell me everything and let the chips fall where they may. Okay, let the chips fall where they may. But don't withhold anything from me because we're trying to save the world. All right? Now, if it's a like a relationship type of thing, I feel like that's still, once we've gotten to the point, is that still annoying? You let me know. Does that still annoy you? If it's like, for example, in a romance novel, and there's specific information that is necessary to a character, but somebody withholds it, that might be more acceptable because there's more room, I think, for human emotion, human frailties, in that type of a story, in a drama, I think that there's more room for that, because it can just be like, I don't like you and I didn't want to tell you. Or if I am on your side, I was sworn to secrecy, and that can be kind of annoying, but like, loyalty to this person kept me from telling you this information, but now it's out, But if it's like a life and death, fate of the universe, we're on a journey, hero's journey, okay, in a fantasy, in a sci-fi, maybe even in a horror. I keep mentioning horror in these videos. I don't write horror. I have wanted to, but that means turning my mind to the dark side. Is that a good idea? I don't know, because I don't want to be like, Heath Ledger. You go so far into the dark side that you can't pull yourself back out. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so that's my thoughts on that petty peeve. I would love it if you provided some examples, and maybe I'll come back and revisit this if I ever find these particular examples. Stories that I feel like might have this as an element might have been like, the Star Wars trilogy, maybe, possibly, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm not well versed enough in Star Wars lore to be able to say that conclusively. And if you are a Star Wars fan, ride or die #1, don't take it offensively, but let me know, is that an element? And if it is an element, does it feel janky? Does it feel bad? What about Dragon Ball? Is that in there too? I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there. Anyway, let me get off of here before I just keep rambling and making less and less sense. Thank you for joining me. This was a really short one, but hopefully it sparks some conversation. Let me know what you think about this particular petty peeve. Am I just being extensively petty? Excessively is the word I really want to say. Am I being excessively petty with this? But it's my opinion and I don't like to see it. So don't do it. Okay? Just don't do it if you're writing a story. Anyway, bye. Love you. See you next time.